What's up, y'all? You saw the title and the thumbnail, so let's get right into it. I just want to know who cares if Big Meech allegedly cooperated and provided information to the feds. Why do you care if that's the case? Now, I want to make this clear, right? I'm a private citizen. I don't speak for any government entity in whole or in part. I am just speaking on my own as an absolute idiot in law school. But I want to know, why is it that it bothers these certain people that he allegedly told on somebody? I have no idea if he did. I haven't seen no paperwork, no anything. But I want to talk about why is it such a big deal? And a lot of people, right, they don't even know the percentages of people that keep the G code and violate it. And now, again, I want to make sure I'm not providing any insight in terms of court paperwork. I'm none of that. I'm just talking about this on straight up commentary because I'm kind of getting tired of these internet tough guys or these computer warriors that love to talk about stuff, right? When it comes to people cooperating to get out or whatever, but they ain't never had to be tested with having the weight of a 25 to life or a 20-year sentence. They ain't never had to deal with that. They may have gone to county jail a few times, did a few bids there or whatever, but they ain't never had to do no hard time, and it shows. But it'll be people like that will comment. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So let's just get right into it. Now, first off, let me say that I have experience for working in the feds, Bureau of Prison. I have experience in that. So, I have a lot of stuff that I can speak on that I have direct observations, right, over the years. I have no inside information as to whether he told or not. So if that's what you're looking for, you're not going to get it, right? But anyways, so there are a lot. Let me see, because I forgot where I was going to be at, man. Okay, so here we go. So, and this is my opinion, right? The only people that should be upset, or the only people that should really be trying to make noise about Big Meech allegedly telling or cooperating is the people that was affected by his alleged cooperation, right? You have so many people, right, that are not affected by it, but yet they want to talk about it, right? You got Wack 100 talking about it. You got poetik Flacco talking about it. You got other talking heads that are talking about this stuff. But my thing is, how is it that you can be so mad as if he allegedly cooperated against you? He didn't do anything against you, allegedly speaking, right? But you all up in arms, you all upset, you know what I'm saying? Because you somehow you taking it personal, right? You don't have no direct allegiance to him. You don't have no bond tie with him, but you so upset about this. Now, let me just nip this in the bud right now, because I already know some people are going to say, well, you the police, right? You the CO. You ain't got no business talking about this, or, why are you, discussing this? Well, let me tell you, right? I am the closest, and other COs and staff are the closest that you can get to knowing what it's like for a person to do time in prison without actually doing the time as an inmate, right? Who do you think responds to the disturbances, responds to the riots? Who do you think has to do CPR on dead inmates or inmates that are close to losing their life because they got stomped out, their head got trampled on like a trampoline and just got poked up? Who do you think it is that has to respond? When these inmates have to go on medical observation because they're talking about harming themselves, or they're talking about unaliving themselves, and they start going over their life history and talk about all these different things, who do you think they're talking to? You know what I'm saying? They're talking to people like us. We don't have the actual experience of being an inmate, but we have enough totality of information, experiences, etc., to say, man, okay, this is this and that. So again, I already know, oh man, you a CO, you can't talk about it. The heck I can't. And I said, heck, I believe I could talk about it. Other COs can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Now let me move on to this next point. Now, there's a lot of people, right, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, right, YouTube. They are like internet tough guys, right? They are people that will, they do the little computer warrior situation, right? But here's the bottom line, right? Let me see. I forgot what I was about to say again. Okay, there we go. See, I got to have some notes on this because, I want to keep it, streamlined. But anyways, there are people that they love to talk about this G code. They love to talk about, you need to follow the rules and you don't tell, you don't cooperate. But I'm here to tell you, I don't think y'all really understand how often people cooperate. It happens all the time. I've literally talked to people that either got like, a 30-year sentence, a life sentence. I've even talked to people that got a sentence of 600 and 700 years. And no, you did not hear that wrong. I have seen over the years where dudes got a sentence of 600 years and 700 years, right? And they did not cooperate. I consider those people, and I've told this to their faces, right? I consider them to be dinosaurs because of that old thing that they used to follow with not telling this, that, and the other. That is a thing of the past. You would be surprised the ways. Now, obviously, I cannot go into it for security purposes, but you would be surprised at the effective ways that, and this is not just where I've worked before, but this is, across the board, jail, the streets, whatever it is. You would be surprised that people that are confidential informants and they are providing information, right? They're connected to a gang. They do their little thing. They're involved in the little illegal activity, but all the time they taking notes and they providing it to the feds or to the state or whatever. They're just providing it to the government. It is, I would say, if I had to take a guess, right? Let's just say if you had some random street gang that had like, say, I don't know, let's just say 100 dudes that was in the gang. Of those 100 dudes, I would probably say that only, and I think 15% is too high, but I'll just say out of the 100 people, probably only you know what? Let me just go on my gut. I'm going to just say 10%. In my opinion, only 10% of those 100. So that's 10 people out of 100 that could be facing a life sentence or facing 25 years or 20 years to life and not cooperate and not tell and just keep their mouths shut. Okay? I'm telling you this from experience. There is a very few, I'd say 10 people out of that 100 would actually follow the code. And the rest of them, when they get caught up, they start singing like Jodeci. Ooh, yeah! Ooh, yeah! But they start singing like Jodeci. How do you think, now let's just put on our cap real quick, right? When you have these different operations going on, right, where people think that it's really on the low and the government doesn't know, everything is airtight and you feel like you crossed all your T's, dotted all your I's, and somehow, some way, the government finds out. How do you think that happens? There isn't a crystal ball, right, where law enforcement will sit down and tell me where the next crime will be committed or tell me where these people are engaged in conspiracy to distribute and all that stuff. No. I've learned over the years, and I remember an inmate told me this years ago, a federal inmate, and I'll never forget it. He said, man, the feds, they are in the information gathering business. And it is so true because you know how they found out that your small little organization was going on where y'all was engaged in illegal activity? It's because more than likely, and it's not the only reason, but more than likely one of your dudes got caught on something else. They got pinched. And so they said, hey, if you let me go or if you reduce my situation, I'll cooperate. I'll give this information. I'll give that information. And it happens all the time. I've had situations with inmates that will drop kites to me or they'll somehow, a kite, just if y'all don't know, a kite is basically like a note from an inmate to another inmate or an inmate to a CO where they're providing information, etc. So I've had inmates over the years dropping kites. Hey, so-and-so got hooch in this thing. Okay, let me explain hooch. I'm sorry. Hooch is inmate manufactured alcohol / wine. So you can get a kite. Hey, so-and-so got weapons in his cell, this, that, and the other. And we're able to act on that. If you think for a 1 second that the feds just somehow magically stumble on this stuff, you are crazy. You are crazy. So that's why I say, right, you have these people, you know what I'm saying, that are judging whether or not Big Meech allegedly told or not. And I want to repeat, I have no idea if he did. I have absolutely no inside information to determine whether he did. I ain't looked at none of his paperwork. I don't know any. I'm only talking about all the stuff that is open to the public as a private citizen, the things that are discussed on the airwaves, the newspapers, etc. But that's why it irritates me when I hear these people or see these people typing out on social media about the importance of following this street code, and these very people that talk about this code, they've never been busted upside the head with facing a lot of time. Like, do you know how hard it is to do time locked up? Like, seriously. Now, I think Big Meech, I think he allegedly did like 20 years or close to it. So can you imagine? You miss out on 20 Christmases. You miss out on 20 Thanksgivings. You miss out on your birthday, 20 birthdays on the streets. You miss out on funerals. And that's another thing. When you locked up, you know what I'm saying? Now, I know they say that you can get a furlough and this, that, and the other, but that don't happen for nobody that's doing some serious time. And they got the serious security points and all that stuff. But I've seen it where I have to stand by as an inmate will call on the phone, you know what I'm saying, while the funeral is going on so they can hear, they'll get with the chaplain and they'll arrange for a phone call. I'm talking about dudes that have put in work on the yard. They are bona fide and certified warriors from different races. And when they get in that room by themselves where it's just us and they get to talk to their family members because they can't be there because their mom died or they dog, maybe their dog, but that wouldn't be a good excuse. But let's say they're their father or whatever, even their own children. We've had where they've had their grown children that passed away for tragic reasons. I remember, man, and it's like, how do you handle those emotions anyways? Because when you're in the prison, you got to put on that front that you're tough and nothing phases you. But how do you do that? Yo, son, I know an inmate, right? I wasn't with him on the call, but I hollered at him, later on. When he got done with his phone call, his son was murdered on the streets. Oh man, I shouldn't use that word. I'm sorry. Take that out, YouTube. Don't use that against me, please. But his life was taken from him. And now this father that's locked up, he has to find a way to not show emotions, or when he does cry, he got to do it in his cell, with his face in the blanket or whatever. That is hard. Do you know how hard it is to, only be able to get a certain type of food unless you got somebody that's compromised and bringing you stuff? That is extremely difficult. So just imagine though, you know what I'm saying? For like, 20 years or almost 20 years, he's had to deal with that. That is hard. You know what I'm saying? So for all of these people that want to get on here and they want to talk about, oh man, shame on him and, he should have kept quiet or whatever. First off, I don't know. Some people may have some kind of paperwork that I don't know of because I ain't looked at none of the paperwork. So I have no idea. But let's just say hypothetically, if, he did cooperate, which again, I don't know. It's like, who are you, right? If you ain't never done no serious time, and I think I might have mentioned this, but I want to go back, right? If you've never done 20 years, if you've never felt the full weight of having to do 20 years locked up straight, just doing your straight bit, 20 years or more, if you've never gone through that, then how can you really have an opinion on what this man should or shouldn't do? And again, I said, it is hard being, locked up. It is extreme, especially if you're in like a USP or something where it's cracking on a daily basis and just, man, it is tough. So I don't want to go on too much about this. Let me see where I'm at with the minutes. Okay, I think whatever. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about that, man, because people are up in arms, people that's not even connected to, Big Meech, people that have no interest, like he didn't allegedly tell on them, and they're condemning them. It's really annoying. And I know for a fact you got a lot of youngsters on YouTube that want to put on this front, and oh man, he shouldn't have told, he should have kept quiet, and man, that's messed up. Well, how much time have you done? You know what I'm saying? I've seen it, man, where inmates have put in for either a immediate release or a reduction in sentence, and they got shot down. When they come back from that writ and they come back into court, they look like they seen a ghost. They just real pale. They don't want to talk to nobody. They just in a depressive state. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is hard. And if you ain't never done a lot of time behind that, then why should you criticize him? Right now, again, I do not have experience being an inmate. You are absolutely right on that. However, I and other people, right, we get to see the after effects, or we get to see the inward manifestation of that inner turmoil or that stress, you know what I'm saying? Because it manifests in different ways. You know, people unaliving themselves or other people, or making the attempts, or just being in a depressive state. I'm telling you, man, you don't want to go to prison. You don't want to go to jail, none of that stuff. But yeah, man, you got a lot of people. They're untested gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Untested gangsters that got a lot to say. And I think that was the same. Well, I can't say the same, because with the dude Terrence, was it Terrence Howard or no, Terrence Williams, Terrence Baby Williams. I think he's the brother. No, he's the brother to Baby or whatever from Cash Money. I can't remember his name. Dude with all the tattoos on his face. It was his brother. And he admitted that he had told on somebody that was dead. And so nobody, you know what I'm saying, had any extra charges, or nobody was prosecuted behind it. But a lot of people got on him because of that. And I think he did like 24 or 25 years. And it's like, man, if you ain't never experienced, you know what I'm saying, missing out on 25 different holidays and birthdays and funerals and all that stuff, your opinion on what he should or shouldn't do don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like if you're in a torture chamber, just hypothetically, and they got your ankle shackled and your wrist shackled, and they got you spread out, and they keep stretching you and stretching you and stretching you. When you're not experiencing that stretching, and you're not experiencing that excruciating pain of like becoming dislocated and feeling ligaments and all that stuff start to tear, if you haven't been through that, then how can you get mad at that person? Let's say if it was a contest to see how far out you can get stretched. How can you judge somebody for not being able to last until just their arms and legs are pulled off? You know what I'm saying? That's not fair, right? But anyways, hopefully you got the gist of this video. I'm going to do some more videos. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? Y'all been showing your boy some love, man, on these views and the comments and stuff, whether it's good or bad. And I appreciate it, man. Now, let me see if I missed anything else. Nope, it looks like that's about it. But, for this video, it's like I kind of had to do notes because I kind of wanted to make sure that I was streamlining things. I don't know why I can't talk today. I can't never talk. But anyways, I just wanted to streamline it because there were some points that I wanted to make. Specifically, you know what I'm saying, when it's people that, they've never been busted upside the head with a lot of time. They ain't never been in that situation, you know what I'm saying? But then they the main ones that's talking. But I'll close with this, right? I wish there was a way. I know this can't be possible because of various constitutional reasons, right? But I wish there could be a situation to where, like, to have the name of your gang up, like, say, on some government website. So you might have the Crips, you might have the Bloods, you might have the Southsiders, or you might have the different white boys, whatever, right? And then not even that, and just put non-affiliates, right? I wish there could be like this government website where it can show how many people from that set, you know what I'm saying, have cooperated with the government, whether it be on the streets or behind the walls. You would be devastated if you found out how many people failed to follow this alleged street code. I mean, it almost, instead of calling it a street code, it almost needs to just be called a street suggestion, or a street tip. Because I can tell you, however it kind of was back in the day, it ain't like that. It's not like that at all. I'm telling you guys. And again, you guys just don't understand. Like, you think the feds or the local police or the state police, you think they just randomly showed up at your house with a warrant to search just because they pulled out some magic globe to see? No, They got all that info, and I ain't going to go into a lecture of all the things that are needed, but you need probable cause to have a search warrant to go in, to seize things, etc. How in the world do you think they know all the information that's needed to be able to get the search warrant when you allegedly are in some hole somewhere in the middle of nowhere where nobody's supposed to know about you? That happens because people within are telling, or it happens because competition knows they want you out of the business and they tell on you. Again, I'm telling you, man, it might sound crazy to some of y'all, but it's real. It's real deal, Holyfield. So until the next one, holla at your boy.